From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us on your MTN Statewide News this Thursday. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Well, the coronavirus pandemic shows no signs of slowing down. Yesterday saw another day of record-breaking infections, more than 144,000 nationwide. Now, hospitalizations are also at an all-time high, and the U.S. recorded nearly 1,900 deaths yesterday. David Begnow is in South Bend, Indiana, where the University of Notre Dame is forcing students to test for COVID if they want to go home.
The coronavirus pandemic continues to accelerate at a record-shattering pace. As the White House remains silent, governors are taking action, reimposing restrictions and urging residents to get back to the basics. Governors like Indiana Republican Eric Holcomb.
I'll sign an executive order that will implement pandemic requirements for all Hoosiers.
His neighbor to the east, Ohio Republican Governor Mike DeWine, warned that businesses could be forced to close if infections continue to spike.
It's advancing quickly and seeking victims in every community in Ohio. If you don't know any of its victims yet, sadly, I suspect you will.
And it is scenes like this, students rushing the field after Notre Dame upset Clemson last Saturday, that have renewed concern about spread on college campuses. Now, the university is mandating that all students get tested before they go home.
So we are all receiving exit testing before we leave, and if we do not get exit tested, then there will be holds placed on our registration so that we can't get ready for classes to come back for next semester.
Other universities have announced similar plans for mandatory exit testing and are not bringing back students until next year.
We realized that was going to be extremely dangerous because everybody leaving, coming back, there was bound to be a massive spike of the virus when they got back.
So the CDC is offering this guidance to Americans for Thanksgiving. You should limit your gatherings to members of your household, no one outside. Specifically, the CDC says college students who are away at school should not be considered members of the household. But if they're going to come home, the CDC says socially distance everyone inside the home. 6 feet apart, if you can, 6 feet apart from members who are not of your household. Everybody should be wearing a mask. And keep the windows open. David Begnow, CBS News, South Bend, Indiana.
Now, after Indiana rolled back nearly every restriction in September, the Associated Press shows that hospitalizations across the state jumped 200%. Well, here in Montana, state health authorities report 962 new confirmed cases today as the death toll reaches 499. Now, right now, there are nearly 15,000 active cases and more than 27,000 people have recovered. This afternoon at 1:30, Governor Steve Bullock will address the state numbers. That press conference will be live on all MTN Facebook pages at 1:30. And of course, tonight, tune into your local MTN station for the very latest. Well, today we learn more about 3 new members appointed to sit on a newly formed COVID-19 task force appointed by Governor-elect Greg Gianforte. Here's MTN's John Amy with introductions.
Governor-elect Greg Gianforte has named 20 people to his COVID-19 task force, including 3 people from the Butte area. Whitehall School Superintendent Hannah Neeskens received a call from Gianforte Monday.
And I was honored to be selected and asked to step up to help our state. So I'm hoping that together we can come up with some solutions that really help the entire state.
2 Butte residents, Father Patrick Beretta and Butte Silverbow Health Department Director Karen Sullivan were also selected to the task force. Both say they are happy to do what they can to help.
I realize that there's no easy answers to the challenges that the state of Montana is experiencing as a result of COVID-19. However, I hope that I can be a solution-oriented voice for the education sector.
The task force, made up of representatives from around the state, will work with local and state officials and provide recommendations on how to deal with the pandemic.
There's a lot of representation from all over and just the various sectors, which is going to be beneficial to the task force as a whole.
In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
And the first meeting of that task force will take place later this month. Well, East Middle School in Great Falls will be closed to staff and students starting tonight. The announcement comes after a high number of people are quarantined for COVID-19. Now, the school will not reopen until Monday morning, November 30th. Officials plan to have students pick up pre-ordered meals Thursday before they leave school. These meals are to cover breakfast and lunch for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. If students need meals on Friday, they can access them at Paris Gibson Education Center. That's from 11:30 to 12:30. Well, the Montana Adaptability Grant Program is helping business owners around the state, but time is running out to apply. The program will provide reimbursement for COVID-19 related expenses like protective equipment and resources designed to keep staff and customers safe. To be eligible, a business needs to have been established in the state of Montana before February 15th, 2020, and must be in good standing with the Secretary of State or local tribe government. Businesses may apply twice for a combined total of up to $10,000 in reimbursement. The deadline, though, to apply for the Montana Business Adaptability Grant Program is this Sunday, November 15th. Well, health and health care are some of the biggest issues facing veteran populations. The Montana VA says telehealth has been a game changer for the service and its patients. Some veterans in Montana have to travel more than 100 miles to get their nearest VA clinic. Telehealth means they can connect with a doctor at their home or whenever they have cell service. Doctors are even able to walk someone through getting their blood pressure checked or even a dermatology consultation. VA staff say it's been a huge benefit for behavioral health patients, parents juggling childcare, and older veterans who need to stay up on their care.
Do a video connect appointment. It's like almost like doing a three-way phone call or a four-way phone call. So we have a veteran that comes into the clinic. His son lives in Seattle. His son was actually able to be in his appointment, and the provider, the patient, and the son are all in different locations.
In other news, while you may be used to seeing Montana Rail Link's familiar blue engines with red logos, the Missoula-based transporter added something a little different to its fleet for Veterans Day. As Ed showed you yesterday, it's paying tribute to the men and women who have served our country. This is the new Veterans locomotive, which was quietly unveiled in a ceremony last week and is now being placed in active freight service on MRL lines running from Billings to Sandpoint, Idaho. The Veterans locomotive was designed and vinyl wrapped in Missoula. A second locomotive honoring essential workers for all of their service during this pandemic will be unveiled shortly and put into service. In addition, the Dennis and Phyllis Washington Foundation is donating $50,000 to Warriors and Quiet Waters and a second $50,000 to the Montana No Kid Hungry. We have more news ahead on your noon news, including one Great Falls resident who is saying hooray for Hollywood. We'll show you why. But first, Krista Rose is in for Ed McIntosh today, and he's in next with everything you need to know about your statewide forecast.